This week in VCT, there's already changes for rosters, and the teams have officially been announced for Master Shanghai after the grand finals of all respective regions. But before we get into that, let's first talk about some rumors that's been happening around the scene. So let's first start with EMEA. They are looking to sign Rich and Paula, both relatively young players from Brazil. I think Rich is from Legacy, I believe, and Paula, I can't remember what Brazilian team he's a part of, but they're looking to sign both of these young players. I think to replace FRZ and maybe JZ, maybe even RGL Meister, because I know on the spreadsheet that Artson and Mazin they're looking most likely to stay. So if that's the case, then I'll be honest, I'm more up for changes for MIBR because they have been they've been horrendous. I mean, kickoff was a good start, and I thought this roster would be pretty good and definitely will be in the mid pack somewhere. But now here in the first regular season, we'll say it's not been going well for this team. So I am open for any changes for this team to happen. I mean, they already got a Bazooka as a head coach, so they need to make more. And this is already a good start. But we'll see how they go in stage two if these changes actually do happen. But I would rather have the entire roster blow up and just new players come in. So I'd rather have that than just replace maybe two players. But if they replace maybe three or four, not too bad, I'll be honest with MIBR. Next up is NRG as they are looking to bench Marv. Is Marv really the problem? I don't think so. I'll be honest, Ethan, he has been the only shining light, I'll be honest, for NRG. He's been looking really good, really decent, even as the IGL of this team, which I know a lot of people have been saying that NRG doesn't actually have an IGL, but Ethan is the actual IGL for this team. The only problem is that they don't have any coordination. They have like they have nothing. They just run in and gun. So that's the problem that NRG has. I don't think it's Marv. Maybe he requested it to be benched, or maybe the team wants to be benched. I have no idea. But Marv is not the problem. I think you need to make more significant changes to this team. I think Victor and Crashish, I think they're staying, which they are great players, but I don't think they should really be saying on NRG, I'll be honest. Because I mean, look, they have a championship talented roster on paper. I mean, all of these players have won a championship event before, like Masters or Champions. So it's really saying something if a championship roster cannot get their shit together and kind of make it to Masters events is quite telling about something that's happening behind the scenes with those roster. But we'll see if this is also come true. And if so, who are they going to replace Marv with in NRG? And the final rumor is from Team Vitality as they are looking to bench Coach Salah, the head coach for that team. I do not like this change whatsoever if it does happen. Because Salah, he's actually a pretty decent head coach, in my opinion. And because his team is still very young, I think maybe it is the youngest team, maybe second youngest. Obviously Team Heretics is very, very young, but I think Vitality might be around there being the youngest, if not maybe somewhere maybe in the midfield there. But either way, they need at least some time for this team to actually flourish, and then they can be and then they can actually be competitive because they actually have some great pieces. I mean, obviously they have Runner and Kicks, both very very young players, who also literally just joined Team Vitality this year. They have Safe, who is a flex god basically, and they also have like Sender, and who's the other player that they have? I cannot Trex. So they have some great pieces, some great players in that team. They just need time just to flourish and get together. So if they do bench Salah, then I'm guessing Strong is going to be the head coach, which I just don't want them to make any changes. I'll be honest. In like between stage one, Masters, and stage two, I do not want them to make any changes because it's better for them to keep the roster that they have, so then they can have some time, flourish, and all that other stuff, so then they can be competitive against all the other EU teams. So I'm not a fan of this. and I hope it doesn't happen. Alright, let's now talk about some stuff that has happened. Let's first start with Loud. QCK has been benched from that team, and it is quite depressing, I'll be honest, because I remember when QCK, he was amazing. He was really good at Furia. And then when he joined Loud and he's been getting so much shit and so much copped and stuff, it's like it's getting a bit too much for him. And I can understand in like a Brazilian standpoint that you want Loud to be competitive. You want Loud to be good. And considering that all three Brazilian teams have been struggling is quite saying. And I just hope that QCK does find his mojo back and like pops off out of the gates, because I'll be honest, I've not been seeing that. I've been seeing that from like Les and Kalzine, Sadak even. It's just not really showing for QCK. So I am a bit worried for Loud and for QCK. And if they do make a change, which Les might be also gone as well, then they might be in damage control, which is needed because this is not the start that this team wanted. It's really, really not. Now over to EU, and there's a couple EU stuff happening right now. First, start off with Eric, obviously formerly known as Doom Bros. He has officially left Na'Vi, and Latix is now the new head coach. I am surprised. I was not expecting Na'Vi to make a change this in like this off season, because they are still a very, very good team. I still think with Eric and head coach, they could have possibly made it maybe to not to Shanghai, but to champions. But I don't know, because I mean, no disrespect, I was a little late to Latex. He is also a phenomenal coach. But because Eric, he has been with that team since since like 2022. I don't, or even 2021, even if you actually want to say like, I don't know, like the first One Plus Phoenix roster. I'm just not a fan of this change, because he has been with that team for so long, and he's a great coach. He's a phenomenal coach. Unless it was actually his decision to leave. Either way, it's gonna be a pretty big loss for Navi of having your head coach that you've been with for so long to now be gone from the team. And I'm interested to see how Latix changes the direction of this team, if he actually does make this team into champions worthy rosters and teams. But just without Eric in the lineup, I'm a bit worried for this team coming to stage 2. Next up, we have the Strain. He has officially left Team Vitality, which is not surprising whatsoever. It was going to happen, so let's just move on. Massive news coming out from Team Heretics, as Mini Boo will be out of Heretics for Shanghai, and Paytech will be back to sub in for him. So I guess Mini Boo has not actually competed in official international event this year. Well, he missed out Master Madrid, because wasn't no, never mind. Never mind. He did play. No, he did play Master Madrid. It was Ryan's. Never mind. Either way, he's just been a super sub for this team. And I do wish Mini Boo the very best. I'm pretty sure it is because of school exams and he's a bit burnt out, which absolutely makes sense. I mean, he's still young. He's still 18 years old. He's basically my age, and yet he's still competing in Valorant. So it's I can understand his point, obviously, of taking a break and focusing more on school exams and not really on Valorant, which is fair enough. But Patek is back. Really happy about that, because he deserves to be in tier 1. He deserves to stay in a team. Even if he's not playing, he deserves to be in a team. He showed in Master Madrid. He showed it in Kickoff in EMEA. He showed it when he was playing with Team Heretics. He needs to stay in tier 1. So even after this, he is like a sub role for the team. I won't be disappointed, because at least he's there in tier 1. He's gonna show his stuff if it's needed, because obviously Miniboo, he's going to be doing his school exams for for a while. I think definitely in the later half of this year. So expect to maybe see a bit more Patateg than usual, but we'll see how they're going. Well, we'll see how Team Heretics go without Miniboo, without their star player. That's gonna be pretty interesting to watch. And the final breaking news is, yay, he'll be taking a temporary break from competitive play from Bleed Esports, and it's looking like Crazy Guy will be back into the lineup. Oh boy, I mean, did the community bully Ye a bit too much? Maybe. I could just tell his mentor has just been demolished. I mean, Like, yes, he's struggling, but I guess it's maybe because he doesn't have the correct players around him. I mean, for God's sake, to put him on Viper for some fucking reason. It's definitely the team. So I can understand why he's taking a temporary break. I do hope he comes back because he is a phenomenal player. In my opinion, he's still. I mean, he's not as good as he was in 2022 Optic, but he's still a very good player. So I guess it's just the it's just the team morale, the leadership as well. If all of that comes together, then Ye can definitely take this team into new heights. But I'm interested to see of how Bleed goes without Ye. Obviously, this team did win Ascension, obviously without Ye, so this team could do well. But if Ye is the problem, then what does that mean for his career? Does that mean that he's going to be coming back to a tier 1 team? Is he going to go back to tier 2? Or is he going to be streaming? I have no idea because he is still a great player in my opinion. And to see him struggle here on Bleed is really, really sad. I do feel for the guy. Like, obviously, he took a gamble. He took a gamble to go to Pacific, to not go to Americas, to not stay over in the Americas region. He took a gamble, went to Pacific, went to Bleed, to possibly do well with this team. And we haven't really been seeing that from him. So I'm a bit worried for him, for his career, and for Bleed. But I'd be interested to see of how they go without EA in the lineup. Well, considering that it was just the grand finals for all the regions, I'm only going to talk about the grand final teams. So let's first start off with the loser teams, that being G2 from Americas. They obviously played against 100 Thieves in the grand final, and IC was MVP, and they still have 6 points and are still in third place. G2, this whole stage really surprised me. I think I've said this beforehand every single time. They do have a great roster. They basically have the guard roster with Leaf and Icy. Obviously Net, he's not part of the roster, so does that really say that Net was the problem? Or is because they now have more flexibility. They have a lot more flexibility now with Icy now in the lineup. Leaf has been, I think he's been mainly playing a flex role, so or maybe the team just took up a notch basically. I mean Valorant especially, he has been popping off recently, and it's impressive for an IGL in that caliber. So really impressed with Valorant and G2, I'll be honest, and we'll see how they go in Master Shanghai. But yeah, we'll see. And now for the winning team, 100 Thieves, and I mean they were just sped up. I think they just I think it was like what 3-0. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but Bang was MVP. This team has just improved massively. They've like took steps forward, and it's amazing to see. Now that they're first place, yes, tied with Sentinels, but whatever. But either way, I'm impressed with this team, man. Is this the 100 Thieves that we were all waiting for in partnership? Because I'm happy. I'm like, I mean, this is definitely the 100 Thieves I was waiting for since partnership started. So I'm glad that they're not competitive. They've basically put themselves on the map against all the other American teams. So that's absolutely a great sign. And it'd be interesting to see of how 100 Thieves go in Shanghai. Obviously, they haven't competed in the Master event since 2021. G2 hasn't competed since 2022. Yeah, 2022, I believe. So it's been a while for both these teams who haven't been in an international event before. But it's great to see 100 Thieves finally back on form. Really, really good stuff from that team. Moving on to China, we first started with FunPlus Phoenix as they lost against Edward Gaming. It was relatively close, but it really says something if your own IGL basically was the MVP for this team. Berlin was MVP, and I mean, they were good, I think, on map 2, I believe, or map 1, I can't remember, but they were pretty good at the start of the game. And then they whipped out the normal classic Clove comp that they run on Icebox, and that was kind of the writing on the wall. If they lost an Icebox with that Clove comp, they were not going to win that game. So, FPX, they're still a very, very good team in my opinion. Are they going to be competitive in Mars Shanghai? Probably, maybe. They might maybe surprise some people. But are we really going to be seeing Clove in in an international event for the first time, maybe we might actually considering of how weird their comps are. So we'll see how they go. But really good showing there from Berlin, but just from everyone else needs to be a bit of a step up. For especially for Mars Shanghai. Finally, for China, Edward Gamers, they continue to be dominant in the Chinese region. Obviously, they won against FPX. Chichu was MVP, not Kang Kang. And I mean, it was just a great showing there from Edward Gaming. They were just a lot better than FPX. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what. I mean, I guess FPX is maybe the closest team that can maybe topple Edward Gaming. I'll be interested to see how that goes, especially in stage 2, where it's not like the super group stage that we had. It's like an actual regular season stage. So I'll be interested to see that because I mean now that they're gonna be competing against like teams like Dragon Range Gaming, Trace Esports, while previously they weren't really competing against those teams. So I'm interested. I think it's gonna be quite. I think it's gonna be fun, and we'll see if any team can actually topple Edward Gaming from their crown in China. Moving on now to EMEA. First start off with Team Heretics as they lost against Fnatic, even though it was very, very close. Minibu was MVP, yes, but it was extremely close. I think it was a super show for Fnatic, so pretty close there, but I guess it was a bit of a choke job, I'll be honest, from Team Heretics. So either way, it was a great showing from Team Heretics, and it shows everyone as well that they are actually might be a championship contending team, maybe. Like they have been really good in EU. They've actually become I think they came second every single time, and we'll see if they continue that into stage 2. But with Mibu now out of Mars Shanghai and Padtech is back in, I do think Team Heretics are going to take a bit of a step back. But we'll see. I mean, they have Wooch now in the lineup, who's been looking really, really good. They also have Ryan's officially in the lineup. So yeah, we'll see because I mean, we'll see how they go. I'm interested to see how they go in Mars Shanghai without Minibu and with Padtech now in the lineup. But I think it's going to be a great showing there either way from Team Heretics. And to round off EU, we have Fnatic. And they won, obviously, against Team Heretics 3-2. Pretty impressive there from Fnatic, and Leo was MVP. And I just want to talk about Leo for a bit, because, in my opinion, he has been maybe the most consistent player for Fnatic at the start of this year. I mean, I think he was pretty good in kickoff, he was good in this stage, and he's just been really consistent for this team. I mean, maybe the closest, maybe Althea, you can maybe say, but everyone else has been pretty inconsistent. I mean, Durka, he's taken a massive dip from his performance. Boaster, I mean, he's just Boaster, so it makes sense. But Chronicle as well. I'm a bit surprised about those two players, Dirk and Chronicle especially, because I mean, they are a very, very, like, those are very, very good players, and they obviously have the talent and the skills to actually take this team into the next step. But I haven't really seen that from both of them. I mean, occasionally, yes, like there are definitely some sparks from this team, from Chronicle and Durka, but it's mainly been Leo who's basically been putting the team on his back. So really impressive that from Leo, even though he doesn't really talk a lot because he's obviously very, very quiet, but he's been really, really consistent for this team, which is a good sign for a team who obviously is in Mars Shanghai now. And finally, it is Pacific versus with Gen G as they lost against Paper X in the grand final. I guess Paper X got their revenge on them after kickoff. But Texture, he was MVP, and they just look a bit sloppy, in my opinion. It was a very sloppy play from Gen G, so it was alright. It was good, but it's just, I don't know what to say other than they were just very sloppy. But I mean, I mean, they have been really good this year from where I expect them to be, of especially not making it to any Masters event or even Champions events, but they've been looking really, really good, really, really consistent. So it's a good sign for this team in coming to Champions and Stage 2 especially. I think if they keep racking up all these wins, all these points, and then they could definitely make it to Champions. But from I still think they can, just because they have been the like top 2, top 3 best, like after definitely as a great team in Pacific, but need to maybe see a bit more from them. I mean, Caron especially, he was just nowhere in this grand final. He was nowhere. I mean, Texture, he was really good. Munchkin, he had some decent moments. Lakia, he was alright. Meteor, he was also alright as well, but it's just the team, the entire team were not up to the standards of like a grand final team, we'll say. So we'll see if they do improve it into Mars Shanghai. I do hope they do, because that elusive second place finish in Mars Madrid has haunted him for quite a while. And the winners of Pacific is PaperX. Yes, they obviously won against Genji once again. Jing got MVP. And just like I said beforehand, they got their revenge on Genji after their loss in kickoff, which was a very surprising win, to be honest, for Genji. But PaperX now look back, and that is just because of Jing. Because Jing, he has been looking really, really good. Obviously, he's been very consistent for this team. He is kind of maybe the face of the team. Even though you could basically literally say anyone. I mean, you could definitely say Mind Freak or Divide. I mean, especially Divide, considering he's been there since 2020. So, there's definitely been moments where this team has been looking really good and championship worthy. And if they do keep Jing for the rest of this, basically of this week, or no, not this week, but of this year, then this PaperX team could easily make it to grand finals in Champions again. We'll see who they go up against in that time, but if they do, then I will be a bit worried for Manyad's career, just because that he was kind of I mean, his career was kind of ruined because of PaperX. It's kind of weird to say that, because PaperX was literally, they are a championship worthy team. They are very, very aggressive and stuff. And Manyad is also very aggressive, but he doesn't really fit into that mold of PaperX. Like a player like Something, for example, when he joined, he was perfect for this team because he was just so aggressive and aggro and just holding that W. Jing, like, as well, when he joined, he was also really, really aggressive. So they have this aggressive playstyle, which Manyad is very aggressive, but he doesn't really fit that mold in, which is a worry for PaperX and was also a worry for Manyad, which is why obviously he was benched. But I do hope at least Manyad does at least get into a team. I mean, there's rumors that he might be going to RIQ, which is a good sign, but we'll see where he goes though. So I guess now with all the regions done, let's now have a quick look after stage 1. 100 Thieves and Sentinels, both of them are currently tied for first. So we have G2, Crew, and Leviathan tied for third. Cloud9 in 6th, and NRG, Evil Geniuses, Loud, Fury Esports, and MIBR, both of them in 10th. Obviously, 100 Thieves, G2, and Leviathan, both of them have made it to Mars Shanghai, which means that they do have a chance of getting 3 more points to their name. China now, Edward Gaming have a 7-point lead, sorry, I should say 6-point lead, sorry, over Fun Plus Phoenix. And they have Dragon Range Gaming, Trace, All Gamers, Bilibili, Nova, Tyloo, Titan Sports Club, and Wolves, all of them in tied for 6th place. While that in last place is JD Gaming. The top 3 have a chance of getting 3 more points after their qualification to Master Shanghai. EU now, and Fnatic is now on top, only though by 2 points. So we have Foot, Team Heretics, Na'Vi, BBL, Team Liquid, and Team Vitality. Foot and Heretics are tied for 3rd. BBL, Liquid, and Vitality, all of them are tied for 6th. Then Gentlemates and Giant X and Koi, the both Spanish dogs, are tied for 10th. Fnatic, Foot, and Heretics, both of them have chances to get 3 extra points. And finally, for Pacific, PaperX is now in the lead, only though by 1 point over Genji. Then we have DRX, T1, Talon, T1 Talon are tied for 4th. RRQ and Team Secret, both of them are tied for 6th. Global and Zeta, both of them are tied for 8th. While Blade and DFM are tied for 10th. PaperX, Genji, and T1, all those 3 have chances to get 3 extra points. So that is really about it from me. I know it's a very, very short episode of this week in VCT, but obviously as Master Shanghai comes in and some challenges have also about to finish, I'm pretty sure South Asia is about to finish, including North America. There will be a video up maybe next week, because I will be going out. I will be going away, I'm pretty sure, next week as well. So it might be maybe a little Saturday special, we'll say. So, but obviously we'll see what I really want to do there. But that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.